Alright, welcome back, and I'm still at White Sands, and as I said in the last episode, I'm going to do some ignition tests and also some full runtime tests as well, which that's basically just a fancy way of saying I'm going to ignite an engine, especially some of the throttle engines that I want to test. I want to test sort of like the Surveyor verniers and its main engine. They're called Surveyor engines, but you can actually put them onto anything. Yeah, they're deeply throttleable. They've got about 27%, I believe. We'll take a look at them before I put them together onto the test bed, so I'll find out exactly what they're throttled down to. Alright, so first up, I'm going to do some tests with the Agena. This is the RT Agena test, because I suspect, I'm not entirely sure, but I suspect it did steal my final ignition, and it was reported on Remote Tech, but this was a while ago, and as far as I know, that bug should have been fixed. It could have just been a random bug. Yeah, so first up will be the Remote Tech Agena test. I was going to do a full runtime test with the engine anyway, because with Realism Overhaul you have something called test flight, which is basically where you get delimited burn times and also reliability levels. But the longer you run an engine for, as in how many times you use it, and also how long you run it for in one sort of single instance, you build up more points, so you can increase the reliability of the motor itself. Alright, so oh yes, that's right, that disaster with the airbags. Yeah, so the probe core can take up to 100 Gs, which isn't 100 meters per second. When you impact on something which is quite solid, you're not going to be developing 100 Gs doing a great deal of speed. It basically doesn't take a great deal of velocity to impact on a brick wall to build up enough well over the G forces with that sudden stop. But the airbag should really have stopped that from happening. But you know, well, back to today's episode. We'll just have to see how Luna 12 fares. Something tells me the airbags are just a little bit stronger than landing gear. And obviously landing gear isn't as versatile, because obviously you can't roll with landing gear. So we have the top end. Oh, excellent. Didn't it don't start, did it? No, it did not tell me about that. We also got 12 days if I need to go and check on the Venus 1 attempt, Venus flyby. Yeah, so I've got quite a little bit to do, quite a bit to do. So I've got advanced construction in 7 more days. That will enable me to store hydrogen in a tank. Okay, about 10 minutes to roll out a day. Well, this is an NK15V/40. I didn't actually mention this. This is the second engine I'm going to test today. It's not the last one. I'm actually going to do 2 test fires. This is basically an uprated version of an upper stage engine which was developed for the N1. This is the N1F version. Basically what I've done is I've re-enabled part testing. I've re-enabled part testing. Normally it's disabled. I'm not going to be taking silly contracts. This is just so I can do some tests without it costing me an arm and a leg, because I'm down to 217,000. So I thought if I get paid for doing some of these tests, it'll only be test findings that. Okay, let's head to launch pad and see exactly what's going on here. What I'm going to do 2 automated sequences of ignitions, and I'll see how many ignitions it's got at the end of it. If it's got more, then it should be okay. It must be my mistake, which I'll have to take a look at the video again of the automated burn where I thought it stole those remaining ignitions. Right, set to launch pad. Okay, here we are. Just a clamp. For the larger engines, I'm going to have to do something a little bit more substantial. But this will do for the Gina. She's not too fussy. Alright. So what I'm going to do a sequence of test fires, like I said. Obviously it's either 100% or not, but you still need to put at least that, you've got to at least put something on the ignition, on the throttle itself to ignite the motor for some reason. So I'm going to put it 100% regardless. So first it's going to be a 30-second burn. Let's make sure this fuel pump can actually, I'm not sure whether the fuel pump can actually keep up with what the engine will sort of need to run on. I'm not certain. Another 60 seconds. So it's going to be a 60-second wait, and we'll do a second burn. I'm not going to obviously release it. Okay, so I'm going to tap the space bar. That'll make it go live straight away. That's what you have to do. So we've got 15 ignitions on this. Exactly as I said in a previous episode, I'm going to use the top end of Gina. This is the one I've got access to right now, which is 15 ignitions. Doesn't require ullage. So we shut that down. That should really have told me. Well, that's weird. Why have I got direct control? Well, that is weird because I don't want live control. Well, it's because I'm just linked up cable wise, as in, it should really give me a decent delay though. It's one of those strange things about remote tech. It doesn't always apply. It's like with the live throttle. You've always got live throttle and RSS regardless of how far away you are from Earth. Which is why I've started using remote tech, because to me it's cheating. We should not have live throttle or RSS control at all. So it says, oh yeah, that's why I've got local con, damn it. So I can't really test it. All I can do. See, normally when I tap on there, that should add it to this list. No, never mind. Alright, we'll do a 30-second burn. Oh, so there we go. So he's doing this. That's weird. That is weird. And yet other times, as you've seen in previous episodes, you right click on the part and it gives you a 60-second or whatever the delay is up here. Oh, well, never mind. I suppose it's to do with the fact we've got local control. So 30 seconds. So we know full well that should have 14 ignitions after this one. So then I'll do another one. Another 30 seconds. About 40 seconds after the last, the other one. It's 15 seconds, sorry. About 15 seconds after the first test fire finishes. I hope. Larger engine coming up next may not be fine. It may take too much power. It may take too much fuel. That's 14 ignitions. Alright. I'm just going down to 13. That seems fine. Yep, we've got 13 ignitions remaining, so there's nothing wrong there. So I'll have to take a look at the other video. Okay, so we have a 4-minute burn time. I think it's a 4-minute burn time. There's no actual information here though. No, there's no test flight information here about the burn time. I believe it's 4 minutes. So we've got 3 minutes worth remaining. So I'm going to burn for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. You can either do it here in Remote Tech if you don't actually know how to use Remote Tech. You either put the time or you put the meters per second. I prefer meters per second. Obviously we can't do that here because we're not moving. Alright, I'm going to do it for 30 seconds over the burn time. No, I didn't actually want to do that, did I? What, a 60-second delay? Okay. To the final 90 seconds. So I've added an extra 30 seconds onto the 4-minute burn time. Okay, 60 seconds. I found just how reliable this is. I've had one shut down before. Into overburn time. Seems fine though. That was 30 seconds over the 4 minutes. That seems to be okay. I'm still going to overburn it for 30 seconds, but whether it's safe to do so every time, that's what remains to be seen. Let's go for another 30 seconds. See what happens. That's the entire 60 seconds over. Alright, I think that concludes. How many ignitions do I have? Nope, I still got 11 ignitions. That's exactly right. That's the correct amount. Alright, let's move on. Move on to the NK test. That's a really big engine. Interesting to see how much fuel it takes and whether this particular clamp can keep up with it. Okay, let's head back. I'll recover this and then I'll roll out the NK test back in the VAB with the Agena test platform. So I've got the test flight package up here and we've got more data to add in. So let's allow 81 beta 13. Now we've used this. I've actually used this motor before. I've already paid. However, you can see exactly what it's. We've got more points to spend now. 98.39 data and buy it for 66 funds. We'll be using this motor before long. Yeah, not subject to ullage. Neither is. Yeah, that's the one we've been using before, the Adrena D. Below that requires ullage. Similar number of ignitions, it's still 4 minutes, as is this 4-minute burn time. And we've just burned this for 5 minutes. So it seems pretty reliable. Obviously, you're still taking a risk over burning it. A huge risk, actually. And it doesn't always pay off. Okay, so I've got the NK. Wait a second. NK15V/43 test. Now that is for a contract, a part testing contract. So I'm going to go into the mission control. And we'll see if there's any more contracts to test any more engines that I've just unlocked. If there isn't, I'll just keep refusing them until I've found one that's actually one that you want to test, which is I'd very much like to test the throttle engines. As I said, I've got the L105, no, L105 series. We're already using these ones. So that's the power test up right now. So this is, as it says, originally designed and built for the NK. Sorry, the N1F, which is the upgraded version of the N1. The NK43 is a derivative of the NK30 with longer bell and restack ability for upper stages. When you see the size, it's 1.6 tons. When you see the size of this thing, how big the N1F really, well, the N1 full stop, really sort of, you get to imagine what the scale was. It was larger than the Saturn V. But these engines specifically, or its predecessor in the upper stage, failed to ignite because of what was technically termed as inadequate ullage. So basically there wasn't enough ullage to keep the fuel down because it was kerosene and liquid oxygen. However, the second stage of the Saturn V was liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. And that's something the Soviet space program never managed to get as quickly as the US space program did. And that was storeable hydrogen on orbit. Well, not on orbit, but just storing hydrogen so it didn't just completely boil off. It's a very awkward fluid to try to store. It takes a lot of cryogenic cooling, a lot of insulation, which increases the weight again. Some nice engines that, which I will be testing. Right, so here we are. This is the NK43, based on the NK15. And this is an upper stage motor. So I've been using clusters. Right. I just don't know if this will actually be able to be kept up with the... It's got a single ignition. I'm not sure whether the fuel flow will actually keep up with it from this clamp. I've got to test first. So I'll get a little bit more money. I've just spent a little bit of money. Only got 9,000. One's research, one's science point, and one reputation. Right, let's go ahead and test this. See what happens. It has got a 6-minute burn time, which is massive. So I'm going to test it for the full 6 minutes. No, I'm not going to make you watch the entire 6 minutes. Alright, so engine is live. Alright, so here we go. 3, 2, 1. Whoa! It's only just keeping up with one engine. And that's ground pumps. I'll do a full 6 minute run time top burn test. Okay, so that's sort of 30 or so seconds left. I'll start recording again. Yeah, seems fine. It's full 6 minute burn. Nothing wrong there at all. We've got some data from that as well. Alright, so that's NK15, it's actually NK43. It's the upgraded version. And it's back up to full fuel. Only just managed to keep up with it though, even on the ground pump. Alright, I'll leave this up for the next test. Alright, so let's go ahead and recover. That's the contract finished anyway. It wasn't really about the money, just helping just pay for the test that I'm going to run. Okay, let's head back out. Okay, so I've only got one actual engine test, that's for the S3. I've already used the S3 a couple of times in launches. I didn't really sort of think much to it. So the closest thing I do use is the MB3, which is also a derivative of the LR79 series of engines. But the S3 is another one. The same sort of family of motors. Right, so I've got TD339, which is basically de-throttleable down to about 27%, and it's the main engine used to lower the Surveyor lunar lander onto the surface of the moon. But it's just a separate engine. I've got two types of engines. The strange things I will show you once we head to the launch pad. Exactly what I'm talking about. One weighs 9 kilos, the other one weighs 45. They both seem to give out within 1 kilonewton of each other the same amount of power. But they use a slightly different fuel mixture. Yet they're supposed to be the same engine, so one may be one version of it, and the 9 kilo one is the lighter version. The thing is, it actually costs less. So the more capable engine actually costs less. And neither of them are marked as non-RP, so I don't know what's going on there. But it's fine, I've attached both of them to the tank, so I can test each one in sequence. Then I've got the H1, which is basically a motor that was used for the Saturn 1. 8 H1s were attached to the base of the Saturn 1. And RD253, which is again a, I believe it's snowball propellant motor. It's for an upper stage for a, I think it's either Proton or Zenith launcher. We're talking about the basic version, we're not talking about the upgraded version. Upgraded version, modern versions of those engines are a lot more capable. These are the basic level engines that I've got available to me right now. There's nothing locked. So hopefully, but obviously we have in 10 days, we have interplanetary mission V1. That may or may not be out of electric charge. I don't want to sort of jinx it and go into it to check on it, so I'll wait until then, till that manoeuvre node comes up, which I haven't actually programmed yet. Right, so back to this episode, which is, it will be 3, 6, 9, we're talking 12 days, so it'll take us 2 days past that. I am getting some money for doing these, so that's fine. 10 at 638. If I do that 10 times, that's 6,000. On them all. It's far. The lunar mission, as long as I get one of the lunar missions, lunar 11, which is dying sat into orbit, I should get quite a nice payout. Not millions, but enough to keep going. Got to do a lot of commercial launches to make up for this. 97,000. I am nearly broke. Okay, it's got one day. So we'll go ahead and build this world main sequence. So 1, 2, 3, so it's about 5 days. So that's easily within the 10 days limit. Alright, so we'll build these and roll them out in turn. So we'll go straight to the launch pad for the TD339 test first. Alright, I'll leave the thermal information up here. I mean, it seems to be incorrect because it doesn't seem to be counting the engines as the RTS power, which is weird. So it's until critical temperature is 45.91 degree, 45.91%. So if critical thermal temperature reached, then we're not even doing anything. But we are in the middle of the desert, I suppose. Alright, stage the first one. Obviously, I can't really use this because it doesn't really count. Not as far as delayed signals are concerned. So I'm going to put it to 30%. I'm showing it for a 60-second burn time. Well, actually, we're putting 1 minute, can't we? It's 1M. So, it shall. We have to stage, obviously. Okay. Right, that's 30%. So about 15 seconds after it finished. So there is no well, that's weird. That should have gone into the stack. So why didn't it? Let's try that again. Try 26%. So what is the limit? What is the minimum? It says 27%. Oh, of course, 27% will be idle. Yeah, of course, it's like the special engines that say they're slowed down to 65%, but 65% is actually idling for the RS-27s. Yeah, there we go. That's a 15-second delay. Oh, there we go. I'll cancel that one. That'll go live. There we go. And that should really go after this is finished. So that's 100%. electron meters per second over 7 hours. Of course, we are on Earth. It's in a vacuum. Let's try this. Right, so how much we're actually producing now. That's the thing about this. It doesn't actually tell you until you actually stop. Don't even tell you then. Thrust 0.22. What is the actual? Well, that seems pretty good. Okay. So it's got no limits of emissions, there's no limit on those, there's no ullage required, it is just that's good. Okay, so that's that should still be inactive. Yeah. That should be active, that's fine. Nope. Doesn't look like it's active to me. Oh, feed pressure too low. Ah. Oh, right. Now I see why the difference is. So TD339, that particular variant of the TD339 requires pressure feed. So that's why it's lighter. This one obviously includes its own pressure fed pump. That's why it's 45 kilos. Ah, see, that's the thing. You wouldn't know that unless you tested them. So like I say, it's a good thing to test these motors, as you would do in real life. I mean, everybody tests their engines. You've got to test everything, to be honest. Whether you talk about spacecraft or, yeah, of course, like a pressure. Ah, so that's nice. So learned something. So this is lighter. This is only 9 kilos. This one's 45. This one includes. This one includes its own pressure pump. So that's why it's 38, 39 or so kilos heavier. But you don't need a special tank with it, because this is a normal tank. Can you tell them what that is? No, it probably won't. That's just a standard default tank. Alright, well, we learned something. Excellent, that's good. Okay, on to the next test then. Let me cover this one. At least one surveyor engine I can use. Well, 2 of them, but obviously I can't use them together. Alright, let's recover this. Okay, next test is the H1. Now this is the H1, not the RS27. Obviously we don't have access to the RS27 yet. A little bit too sort of advanced. Alright. Let's look at what's going on with this. So this is again, it's throttle locked. Actually, technically it's actually unthrottleable. So unthrottleable needs to be, it means you can't even use the sliders in the VAB. Throttle locked means you actually can, but you've got to be careful with some of the SRBs because they've only got a runtime of a few seconds. So if you try and throttle them to 50%, you could try and overburn them by several seconds. In case of the bigger engines, you could try overburning them by several minutes. And allow to probably exploding or flaming out on you. The most minor thing, they lose power and flame out. The worst thing is the fact that they could probably blow up. Alright. So it's 100% throttle. There's still again no burn time information. I know full well this has got a burn limit of about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I think I maybe should have sort of wrote these burn time limits down. We shall go for 3 minutes. This engine is live. Throttle is down, obviously, manually speaking. Okay, do a 3-minute burn, see what happens. 3, 2, and I'll keep this thermal thing up and here. First information and the thermal information, just in case it starts to overheat. So keep an eye on the thermals. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Power loss at about 15 seconds before. So that's 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Yeah, with a power loss and a flame out. Right, it's good and recover. On to the next test. Alright, so it's very early in the morning. This is the RD253, which uses Dolby propellant. It's actually an upper stage engine. And it uses medium H and MTR. I didn't think it used that. Okay. Delta V total is 673 meters per second over 9 seconds. So that's quite a powerful motor for its size and weight. Alright, let's get on with the test. So I suppose you need to use this as either a first stage motor in clusters or a second stage motor. I would think any role basically would probably suit it. Again, it isn't throttleable. So no one's actually tested which are throttleable at the Surveyor, the 633? No. 336? I can't remember what it's called now. The Surveyor engines, basically. Alright, I don't know how long this motor is supposed to burn for. I believe it's about 6 minutes. It's an upper stage motor, but we have only got one ignition. Let's keep this up. It doesn't require ullage. I think propellant very stable, so that might cause a slight problem. Let's see what 6 minutes does to it. Stage it. Let's burn. 3, 2, 1. It's almost 3 minutes though. So about 2 minutes and 30 seconds to be safe. Sorry, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So we went for 3 minutes. Ooh. And then it blows up. We don't really doing that. So the RD253 will burn about 3 minutes and 30 seconds, but you are taking a risk going any further than that. I have to make some notes. Okay, so back to the overview. I'm restarting to recover this as well. Okay, so I've successfully recovered at least the clamp, not the motor, so that blew up. Okay, so the final test is the S3. The engine that I've used, but not a great deal. I just want to see exactly what it's capable of doing, how long it can actually burn for, before something fails on it. So let's get a rough idea. Okay, so the final test for this episode. This is the S3. This does require ullage. It is a main stage motor, it isn't an upper stage or a payload stage. Now, there is no burn time limit on this. That's what I normally allow it to do. It is basically a derivative of the LR79, which I've been using quite a lot. 2 minutes and 20 seconds, 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and 4 minutes and 20 seconds are the respective burn times for each version of the LR79. So I took a look out online how long this should burn for. It should burn for 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So once again I'm going to burn it for 6 minutes. Just to test it, see where its breaking point is. So this should be 4 minutes 20 seconds. It can still obviously, let's run the test first. That's how I get paid for everything I've done. So I've got 26,000 in funds, 1 science and 1 reputation. Do a bit of an easier way of sort of, well, some of them are. Some of them throwing a Mark II capsule into the orbit of the sun. I wouldn't call that exactly easy, but some of them are quite easy. Okay, so that's 6 minute burn time. I've got paid for just 132,783. I was down to less than that, about 70-something thousand I think I was down to. Alright, let's burn for 6 minutes, so 3, 2, 1. Not bad. And the tank fills back up. So as the clamp isn't capable of keeping up with it, but somehow it still seems to feed it enough sort of fuel for the engine. Alright. That's a series of engines tested. Most importantly, I found out that something to do with remote tech, it doesn't seem to be doing it with the engines here. So I'm probably going to have to go and take a look at that. It's quite possible I've gone and made a mistake and ignited the engine. But for I can't remember why I did it. So I'll watch that episode back again for myself, I think. But the thing is, it's still worthwhile doing this. If you ever get new engines, do this test yourselves, because you're building up. Like I said just a moment ago, I'll have lots of data now to apply to the reliability of all these engines. The longer you burn them for, the more often you use them, the more points you gather, and you can spend them in a little pop-up that comes up on the right-hand click menu for test flight. Alright, so let's head back out and recover this. Head back out to the white stands overview. Alright, so that's recovered. So there's only one motor we didn't recover. Right. So that's the end of this episode. That's the end of the series of tests. I may do some more tests but outside of recording. I don't want to sort of bore everyone. But they were the main engines I wanted to test. Some of the newer engines I've got, and especially the Surveyor main motors, which are throttleable. I wanted to test those because they seem quite useful. They're not too powerful, but they don't need to be, because they're only for lunar operation. Well, vacuum as well, vacuum and lunar, so they can use them for anything. They don't need ullage. Just like the 1 kilonewton thruster I've been using, but they do throttle. So that's good. So I've got some throttleable engines, and I've unlocked advanced construction, which gives me the ability to store hydrogen, cryogenic tanks, and balloon tanks. So that's good. Definitely learnt something, especially about the throttleable engines that I unlocked. So there's 2 types of those. One includes the pressure feed pump, and the other one doesn't. That's why it's lighter and cheaper. So, yeah. Alright, so thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give it a like. Share with your friends. And like I said, this is like just me just testing some various engines out. That's all it's about. And we have Google Plus, Twitter, and Facebook. Be great if you could go on those websites, which you'll find the links on the banner on the front page of the channel, right at the top of the channel page. Be great if you actually go on there and click a like and a follow on those 3 pages. Very much appreciated. And subscribe obviously to the channel for more updates on this and other playthroughs. Alright, thank you once again for watching. I hope to see you next time for the next episode, which will probably be the IMV. If that fails, I'll have to launch another one in the same episode. Alright, so thanks for watching again. Take care. Bye bye.